A former director of the Lansing Catholic Diocese St. Francis Retreat Center in DeWitt has been accused of embezzling hundreds of thousands of dollars from fellow priests.
You know, you would think that someone's a priest would be above doing this kind of thing.
Thursday afternoon, Attorney General Dana Nessel announced that Father David Rosenberg is being charged with several felonies and is accused of embezzling more than $800,000 from 3 other priests and using that money to fund his charitable foundation. Joanne McCartan says one of the 3 priests Rosenberg is accused of embezzling from was her brother, Father Ben Werner, who lived in an apartment at the center for 7 years after his retirement.
Father Rosenberg came, I think, 3 years before my brother got sick. And I don't think my brother knew him all that well, but somehow he was able to convince my brother to sign these papers and sign the will and so on to him. But that was after my brother had this very severe stroke. And so his cognitive abilities weren't the best.
Werner had the severe stroke in January 2018. She says Rosenberg didn't call her until a month later.
And then he told me, I think in a subsequent call, that he was the executor, healthcare proxy, power of attorney, all those things that I had been in a previous will. And that my brother didn't want me there.
She finally visited her brother around Easter, about 2 months after his stroke.
In the interim, he had shifted all these accounts over under his direction. And so he had like total control over my brother's finances and his health care and so on.
She says she didn't ask about it because she was afraid.
David Rosenberg said, "We don't want to get your brother agitated, do we?" So I once asked my brother if he had a will, and he told me, "Oh yeah, it's somewhere in the desk drawer," but I never saw any will because David Rosenberg told me everything's sealed, which I don't think was quite accurate, but he told me that.
Her brother Ben passed away Christmas Day, 2018.
Some friends suggested, from what I told them, why don't you try and send things to the Attorney General's office? I thought, well, I'll just take the chance.
Rosenberg appeared in court on Thursday.
So we will be, over the next couple days, we'll be discussing and deciding whether there's anything further from the diocesan end that we need to do, anything that we've missed over the past few years.
Despite the allegations,
I don't think that David Rosenberg is an evil person or anything like that. I don't despise him or something. But I think it's unfortunate that he chose to take advantage of elderly, sick people.
a probable cause conference is scheduled for December 15th and a preliminary examination for December 22nd.
Hey guys, if you tune in to the Christian Tribune long enough, you're going to realize that we do these stories pretty much every day. And I mean that literally. We do stories like this every day. I have gone on other rants where I talk about my hesitation to give money to churches. I've seen how the sausage is made. I have seen where the money goes. And this just in, folks, your local church that you give money to because you think you are commanded to tithe, you think you're supporting your community, that money never stays there. If your church is part of a larger organization, it gets shipped out to other churches within the organization to meet their budget needs. And as the last time I saw when I attended my own large church here, I had people talking to me about their mission trip to Madagascar. These people went to Madagascar because I donated money to the church. They flew home to have a baby, again, because I donated money to the church and other members of the congregation did. And then they flew back to Madagascar with their baby. I'm funding their 5-year vacation to spread the word of God in Madagascar when I'm looking around in my own backyard. There are people in my hometown that could use the word of the Lord right now. Why am I spending thousands of dollars on airfare, thousands more to feed and shelter you? And again, I would love to go to Madagascar. I mean, maybe not Madagascar. Can I sign up for a mission trip to Western Europe for 5 years? That'd be glorious. So I've seen too much. Your money never stays where it should. And then you get stories like this, where pastors are taking $830,000, not only from other members of the church, but other pastors. Absolutely insane here. I think we need access to the books. I think every church should be required to open up the books to the public. If I'm giving money to a tax-exempt nonprofit religious organization, they should be required by law when I walk in the door, here's our books, updated yesterday, updated daily. This shouldn't be happening anymore. And I also say, there is a special place in hell. You are taking the Lord's name in vain. I would say one of the most, they're all important. I can't say the top 10, this one's more important. They're all important, equally important. But to take the Lord's name in vain, you put on the frock, you get in front of the flock, and then you steal their money because they think they're doing good by tithing, giving money to the church and their community. I can't do it, folks.